Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are breaking down the Alabasta saga chapter by chapter, and today we are on chapter 165, Operation Utopia.
And what an appropriate title. We finally see the grand design of the villain pulling the strings in this country.
Oh, we more than see it. Oda just rips the mask off, man. We spend all this time wondering who is Mr. Zero, what's his plan, and then he just drops the answer on us like a ton of bricks. It's one of those chapters where you finish it and you just have to put the book down and stare at the wall for a minute.
It's one of the coldest reveals in the series. The game board is completely overturned. If you're enjoying us connecting these dots that Oda lays down, maybe connect that subscribe button so you don't miss us putting the whole conspiracy together.
For real, you're not going to want to miss this one. Let's dive in.
We open back in Yuba. It's a quiet, somber scene after the sandstorm has passed. There's this eerie stillness. Vivi is with Mr. Toto, who's remembering when he last saw his son, Kosa.
And it's just heartbreaking. This is the reality of the rebellion, right here. It's not armies and flags, it's an old man digging in the dirt of a dead town, holding on to the memory of his son leaving to try and save it. He's talking about how Kosa was so full of fire, so certain he could fix things. Toto is the heart of this whole rebellion, you know? He's the reason it's happening, and he's the one suffering the most, left behind in the dust.
There's a profound sadness to it. He represents the older generation, the ones who remember what Alabasta was, watching the younger generation, embodied by Kosa, leave to fight for a future they can't even be sure of. Toto is the living history of this conflict.
He is, and he's not just sitting around waiting, he's digging, he's still working, still fighting his own quiet battle against the sand, trying to find one drop of water. It's defiance in its purest form.
Vivi sees him crying, this subtle single tear rolling down his cheek, and offers him a tissue. It's a small, human gesture, but in that moment, she makes a promise, right there, to stop the rebellion herself. She's taking on the full weight of this. It's not an abstract goal anymore.
And that's our princess. That's the growth we've been seeing. She sees his pain and internalizes it. It's not just a political problem for her anymore. It's about Toto. It's about the people on the ground whose lives have been shattered. She sees his tear, and it becomes her responsibility to fix the thing that caused it. Super noble.
The crew decides to stay the night, get some rest before moving on. It's the logical thing to do, but Luffy and Toto just keep digging. All night long, just the two of them, under the stars, in the desert, trying to find a drop of water in a dead oasis.
That's such a key Luffy moment. No big speech, no grand declaration. He just sees this old man who refuses to give up, this embodiment of grit and hope, and he respects it. So he picks up a shovel and starts digging. It's that simple. He sees a will that matches his own, and he's just drawn to it.
It shows a patience we don't often see in him. Normally, he wants to run to the next fight, the next adventure. Here, he's not fighting anything. He's just helping. He understands the symbolism of the act itself. This isn't about finding a wellspring. It's about showing this man that he isn't alone in his struggle. It's empathy through action.
Exactly. He gets that this isn't just about water. It's about not letting the dream of Yuba die. While everyone else is resting, strategizing, thinking about the next step, Luffy is doing the actual work, side by side with the guy who started it all. It's like he's absorbing Toto's will, understanding the stakes on a gut level that no amount of explaining from Vivi could ever achieve.
It's a beautiful, quiet moment of solidarity before Oda throws us into the viper's nest. The contrast is deliberate and jarring. We go from the scene of pure, selfless hope
to a room full of the worst people on the planet. I mean, a literal viper's nest. We cut to the top brass of Baroque Works, all meeting up for the first time, the officer agents, and the designs are just perfect. Oda is a master of character design, and this is an all-star lineup of weirdos.
They're all so distinct. You have Mr. One, who looks like a hardened killer. He's just cold and professional. He doesn't look flashy. He looks like he's there to do a job, and that job is killing people. He exudes competence in a way that is genuinely threatening.
He's all lines and angles, man. He looks like he's carved from stone. And then you have his partner, Miss Doublefinger, with her sharp, spiky aesthetic. She's got this whole femme fatale vibe, but way more punk rock. It's a super cool design.
Then you have Mr. 2, Bon Clay. He is just pure chaotic energy in one person. The swan on his back, the makeup, the ballerina poses. He's a walking piece of performance art. You have no idea what to make of him, which is precisely what makes him dangerous.
He's a riot. You can't tell if he's going to start a fight or a dance number, and I love that. And Mr. 4 is just this big, slow-looking dude with a bat. And his partner, Miss Merry Christmas, is, well, she's something else entirely. She's like this angry, short mole lady. It's a crew of absolute weirdos, but they all have this dangerous edge to them. They're the best of the best that Baroque Works has.
What's fascinating is that for all their eccentricities, they carry themselves with a certain professionalism. They're all waiting for Mr. Zero. They've never met him. They have no idea who he is. The tension is palpable. These are killers and spies who have toppled nations, but even they are on edge, waiting for their mysterious boss.
They're like, so who's the guy signing our paychecks? And who walks in but Miss All Sunday? Robin, our Robin, just strolling in like she owns the place, calm as can be.
It's still strange to see her in this context. She's so calm, so in control. She's the vice president, the second in command, and she's the only one there who knows the big secret. She holds all the power in that room, and she knows it. It's a very different kind of power than we see her wield with the Straw Hats. It's colder.
She tells them they're in Rain Dinners, a casino in the city of Rainbase, and then she drops the first bomb. The casino is owned by the warlord of the sea, Sir Crocodile.
And you can feel the mood in the room shift. The agents are surprised, maybe a little confused. Mr. 1 is the one who voices it. Why are they meeting in a warlord's private casino? The warlords are government dogs, pirates on the world's shortest leash.
They're thinking he's an affiliate, right? A business partner, a government stooge they've got on the payroll. And that makes sense. A warlord would be a powerful ally. They give you a free pass from the Marines, access to resources. It's a logical connection for a criminal organization to make. They're probably thinking, oh, so that's how we've been operating so freely.
But that's not it at all. Miss All Sunday clarifies with a slight knowing smile. Mr. Zero, the leader they've been serving this whole time, the man who built this entire organization from the shadows, is Crocodile.
And he's been sitting there with them the whole time, in the dark, just listening, with his back to them. The sheer disrespect. He didn't even think they were important enough to face them. Super. That is how you do a villain reveal. It's not a monologue from a distance. It's the monster revealing he was in the room with you all along.
It's terrifying. The power dynamic shifts in an instant. These confident, high-ranking agents are suddenly revealed to be nothing more than employees, and their boss is one of the most powerful men in the world. They thought they were the top dogs, the elite. In reality, they are pawns in a warlord's game, and they never even knew it.
And he was right there, the whole time. He was testing them, listening to what they'd say when they thought he wasn't around. Can you imagine the chill that went down their spines? Everything they might have said, every complaint, every bit of bravado, he heard it all. That's a level of paranoia and control that is just chilling. He doesn't trust anyone, not even his most elite agents.
It reframes everything. Crocodile isn't just some pirate. He's a warlord of the sea, a government-sanctioned hero to the people of Alabasta, and secretly the mastermind behind the country's destruction. He's built up this public image as the pirate hunter who keeps the kingdom safe.
He's playing both sides against the middle, and no one even knew there were two sides. He clearly created the problem, causing the drought somehow, making the king look bad, and then presented himself as the solution, the strong warlord who protects the innocent. The sheer audacity is off the charts. Hiding in plain sight isn't even the word for it. He's hiding on a throne in the middle of the town square.
And look at the name of his casino, Rain Dinners, in a country literally dying from a drought that he engineered. It's a mockery. It's a private, cruel joke. He's serving dinner while the country starves for a drop of rain. He's not just evil. He's theatrical in his cruelty.
It's pure, uncut villainy. That's not just a plan, that's a statement. He's reveling in his own cruelty. He could have called it anything. The Sandy Palace, the Oasis Casino. But no, he called it Rain Dinners. He is actively taunting an entire nation of dying people, and they don't even know it. That's a whole other level of twisted.
He then explains the final stage of his plan. After berating them for their failures and for Vivi still being alive, he lays out his grand design. He calls it Operation Utopia.
And anytime a villain in any story uses the word utopia, you know it means the exact opposite for everyone who isn't them. A utopia built on bones and ashes. It's like a giant red flag that says genocide is coming.
Exactly. His utopia involves inciting the final, decisive battle between the royal army and the rebel army at the capital, Alabasta, a civil war that will tear the kingdom apart, leaving the nation leaderless and in ruins. Then he, the hero Crocodile, will swoop in, crush both exhausted sides, and be hailed as the savior king who brought order. But he reveals there's more to it than that. The throne is just a means to an end.
Yeah, he says there's something of importance tied to military might, hidden somewhere in Alabasta. That's the real prize. The country is just the key to the treasure chest. Being king is just step one on his to-do list.
And this is where it gets really interesting and really frightening. A warlord is already a massive military power. They have influence, wealth, and legal immunity. Why does he need more? What could be hidden in an ancient desert kingdom that a man like Crocodile would risk everything for? Risk his title, his freedom, everything.
This is bigger than just becoming a king. He's not just trying to take over Alabasta. He's using Alabasta to get something else. This whole arc, we thought the goal was saving a kingdom. That's not the goal at all. That's just the prelude.
I have to think it's something on the scale of those legendary ancient weapons we've heard whispers about. The Nefertari family is one of the original 20 royal families who founded the world government, but they're the only ones who chose to stay in their homeland instead of moving to Marijois. There must be a reason for that. Some ancient secret they protect.
A weapon of incredible power hidden in the desert. If a warlord, who is already one of the most dangerous people on the seas, got his hands on something like that, that could be a world-ending threat. The world government might be powerless. The 4 emperors might be powerless. That's a checkmate against the entire world.
That's the scale of his ambition. He's not thinking about being a king. He's thinking about being a god. This whole multi-year country-destroying plan, this intricate web of lies and manipulation, is just step 1 to acquiring a weapon of mass destruction.
And the officer agents are his tools to achieve it. He gives them their final orders, the last mission to make his utopia a reality. We don't see the exact plans, but you can guess their roles. Mr. 1 is the top assassin. Mr. 2 is perfect for creating chaos. Mr. 4 is the heavy hitter. The final phase is in motion. The doomsday clock just started ticking.
It's a masterful reveal. In one scene, Oda establishes the villain, his power, his methods, his personality, this cold, calculating, paranoid arrogance, and his ultimate goal, all while raising the stakes to a global level. This is no longer just about Alabasta. The fate of the world could be at risk.
Absolutely brilliant. From here, we cut back to Yuba. It's the next morning, and the tone is completely different. The whiplash is intense. We just left this dark, smoky room full of assassins plotting world domination.
And we're back with the quiet dignity of Mr. Toto. The sun is rising, the sand is golden, and the straw hats are getting ready to leave. After that dark, intense scene in Rain Dinners, it feels like coming up for air.
And he gives them a barrel of water that he and Luffy spent all night digging for, even if they only found a little. He's giving them this precious resource for their journey. Think about that. This man has lost his home, his son, his oasis. All he has is this little bit of water he broke his back for all night, and he just gives it away.
It's such a powerful gesture. This man has almost nothing, and he's giving what he has to the people he believes can save his country. He's investing his hope in them, not with words, but with the most valuable substance in his world. It's an act of pure faith.
It's the perfect contrast to Crocodile. It's the whole theme of the arc right here. Crocodile hoards power and resources, naming his casino after the rain he stole from millions. Toto, who has nothing, gives away the water he barely found. That's the whole conflict of this arc in one image, the tyrannical taker versus the selfless giver.
And Luffy, who dug with him all night, understands the weight of that gift. He was there. He felt the exhaustion, the false hope with every shovelful of dry sand. He accepts it. You think the scene is over. It feels like a moment of quiet resolve, a final blessing before the journey.
Right. The team is ready. They have their mission. They have the emotional fuel from Toto. Time to go stop a rebellion. Everything is pointing in one direction. And then Luffy speaks.
He just says he quits. Yameta. I'm done.
Throws the water barrel down and just quits. What? What are you talking about, man? We were just having a moment. The old man gave us his hope water. You can't just drop the hope water.
It's a complete shock to the crew and to us as readers. Why now? After everything. After Drum Kingdom, after Little Garden, after promising Vivi he'd help, after digging all night, after seeing what this means to Vivi and Toto. Why would he quit?
It makes no sense on the surface. It looks like the most selfish, childish thing he could possibly do. Luffy is the last person to ever give up on a friend. He just spent an entire arc climbing a frozen drum tower with 2 sick people on his back to save Nami. He doesn't quit. That word isn't in his vocabulary.
So it can't be that he's actually quitting on Vivi. It has to be something else. He's quitting her plan. He's quitting this idea of running around the desert trying to stop the rebellion.
That has to be it. He's been following her lead this whole time. Let's go here, let's do this, go to Yuba, find Kosa, stop the rebellion. But they got to Yuba, and Kosa's not even there. He's already gone somewhere else. The plan failed. They're 1 step behind.
Luffy must see it as a waste of time. They're running around the desert chasing a ghost while the real enemy, the one causing all of this, sits in a casino getting stronger and putting his final plans into motion. Luffy just spent the night doing hard, pointless labor for a tiny bit of water. He's just experienced firsthand how futile their efforts are against the sheer scale of the problem.
Exactly. Luffy's logic is always a straight line. The problem is Crocodile, so the solution is to go punch Crocodile. Everything else is a distraction. Chasing the rebellion is playing Crocodile's game. Crocodile wants them to focus on the rebellion. It keeps them busy, it keeps them away from him.
And he's not wrong. Their approaches are fundamentally different. Vivi, as a princess, feels the weight of every single life. She is trying to save everyone and fix everything piece by piece. She wants to prevent any bloodshed. Luffy's approach is to find the source of the problem and smash it, assuming the pieces will fall back into place after.
It's the classic Luffy mindset. He doesn't solve problems, he removes them. And right now, he sees Vivi's plan as just running in circles in the sand. It's an incredible cliffhanger to end on, a total emotional whiplash from the hope of the morning to this sudden, shocking conflict.
It sets up a major conflict within the crew. This isn't an external enemy they can all punch together. This is a fracture in their own ideology. And Vivi is not going to take this well. From her perspective, he's abandoning her and her people at the most critical moment.
She's not going to get it, not at first. This is going to be a real test for them. Can she trust his gut even when it looks like he's being selfish and stupid? Can Luffy articulate his reasoning in a way that isn't just, I want to go punch the bad guy? This is a leadership crisis.
It's a fantastic chapter. It gives us the villain's entire scheme on a silver platter and then immediately introduces a massive internal conflict for the heroes. The pressure is coming from all sides now, including from within.
Man, I can't wait to see how this plays out. If you think Luffy's about to make the most boneheaded or the most brilliant move of his life, let us know what you think down in the comments. We read every single one.
Okay, predictions for chapter 166. What do you have?
My first one is that this leads to the first real, serious fight between Luffy and Vivi. Not a gag, but a genuine emotional conflict. She's going to accuse him of not understanding the weight of her duty, of not caring about her people's lives. And he's going to get frustrated that she's not listening, that she's choosing a plan that won't work over the direct solution. I think it might even get physical, with Vivi hitting him and him just taking it.
That feels inevitable. A clash of ideals that has been brewing for a while. I agree. What else?
Prediction 2, we see the officer agents start to move. We just saw them get their orders, so I bet Oda shows us at least one of them in action. Specifically, I think we'll see Mr. 2, Bon Clay. His whole thing is impersonation with the clone fruit, right? I bet his mission is to go to the capital, Alabasta, and impersonate someone important to escalate the conflict beyond the point of no return. Maybe King Cobra himself, to give an order that starts the war.
That's a good one. A perfect use of his abilities to sow chaos and confusion, which is exactly what Crocodile wants. A scalpel in the heart of the kingdom. Okay, my turn. My first prediction is that Usopp and Nami are the ones who try to mediate between Luffy and Vivi. Zoro will just stand there and let Luffy be Luffy, and Sanji will instinctively take Vivi's side because, well, he's Sanji. But Nami and Usopp are the most normal in terms of emotional intelligence. They'll try to get them to see eye to eye and find a compromise.
Yeah, that tracks. They're the ones who would see the emotional fallout and try to fix it. Zoro would just be like, the captain has decided. And Sanji would be like, how dare you make the Princess Swan cry? So yeah, it's gotta be Nami and Usopp.
My second prediction, we will learn a little more about Crocodile's plan for the weapon. Not just that he wants it, but how he intends to find it. He must know its location is tied to the poneglyphs. He has spent years in Alabasta. He would have done his research. This means he's going to need someone who can read them. He's going to explicitly task me, well, Miss All Sunday, with finding the Alabasta poneglyph. That's her primary mission, the real reason he keeps her so close.
Ooh, tying it directly to her devil fruit power. That's sharp. So she's not just his VP and muscle, she's his key. That's her whole purpose for being there. It's not just because she's strong, it's because she holds the knowledge he needs to unlock his ultimate goal. That raises her importance in the story tenfold.
He's a planner. He wouldn't leave the most crucial part of his grand design to chance. He's not just using her as an enforcer, he's using her for her mind.
Love it. All right, that's all the time we have for this week. This was a monster of a chapter, a total game changer.
The board is set, the final moves are being made. It's all about to begin. Join us next time as we break down what happens when an immovable princess meets an unstoppable idiot.
It's gonna be super. Thanks for listening to Inherited Dawn. We'll catch you on the next one.